Y'all, can I tell you about these Tecovas boots? I don't know if y'all know this, but these boots are handmade, high quality, stylish, and comfortable right out of the box. I know we buy everything online these days, but boots are something you really should get fitted for. And it just so happens Tecovas is based right here in Austin. So come shop with me at the Tecovas store on South Congress or the Domain. That's TECOVAS.com. Don't go gently, y'all. Today on CityCast Austin, it's almost Labor Day, so we are talking about all things grilling with Kareem Al-Gayesh of KG Barbecue and Egyptian barbecue truck near Mueller. You may have also seen Kareem on Netflix Barbecue Showdown, where, spoiler alert, we believe he was robbed. He's sharing all of the best tips on where to shop, what to grill, how to season it, and more. CityCast Austin is brought to you by our exclusive launch sponsor, Tecovas. It's Thursday, August 29th. I'm Nikki Devon, and this is what Austin's talking about. Hello, I am here today with Kareem Gayesh, the owner and chef at KG Barbecue. Hi, Kareem. How are you?
Yes, I'm doing great, Nikki. How are you?
I am great. Let's dive right in. So I grew up around barbecue. My father barbecued every Sunday. For you, your life drastically changed after you tasted barbecue in Austin in 2012, right? Was that the first time you had
right.
Barbecue?
Texas barbecue, yes.
I want to know what that first bite was like. Tell me about that experience. What was that like?
There's not many bites that make me roll my eyes in the back of my head. But this was absolutely one of them. The first bite of Texas barbecue I had was completely mind-blowing and life-changing, literally life-changing. And I was fascinated. I grew up eating barbecue. Barbecue in the Middle East is very different. So I come here, my first visit to the US, and I was here to visit my friend in Austin, and he took me straight from the airport to Rudy's barbecue. So
yes,
as an Austinite, you know what Rudy's is. It's a beloved gas station barbecue. You know what I mean?
That's a great descriptor.
Yeah, it is gas station barbecue. It's extremely consistent. Some of the things are it's mediocre quality, but it's consistent. So I walk in and the smell here, talking about that first, it's very different, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like barbecue here, you walk in and it smells like you're camping, like it's a campfire. Mm-hmm. It's a live fire with a little hint of black pepper, notes of black pepper. And then I walk in and I see the cutting board, and he has this huge chunk of barbecued meat. And I was like, what is this? What is this? I'm not used to seeing any grilled meat that huge like that. So I started learning about this whole craft and the low and slow cooking. It is a live fire. Barbecue in the Middle East and Cairo is all about hot and fast, charcoal, grilling, everything. Every protein is skewered. Whether it is, even if it's chicken or even lamb chops, kofta, kebab, all of this stuff, it's all, even quails, whole quails, they're skewered, and they're all just grilled on hot charcoal. Beautiful, amazing. It's some of the best barbecue. And then I think we pride ourselves in the full meal of sides and fresh bread and rice and condiments and dips and tahini, baba ganoush, and garlic dips, and all these fresh veggies and herbs. And the smell of barbecue in Cairo is the char, the fat dripping on charcoal, that smoky smell. The whole spread, you got fast grilled proteins on skewers, and then they just offload all these skewers on a big platter. So you have multiple different proteins. The cuts that are used in Texas barbecue are the less prized, the cheaper cuts that are more fatty, less desirable, way tougher. Like this brisket, this cut of brisket is the chest of the cow. That is a cut that's completely and extremely tough to eat. So in Egypt and the Middle East, and actually in the rest of the world, because this cut is very tough and it has such a high fat content. Most countries grind it. So, but not in Texas. Like here, we know what to do with the brisket. So yeah, it was an amazing experience. Like literally changed my entire life.
You are a pit master. You compete on a barbecue reality show. Side note, also obsessed. So you are around barbecue all the time. Do you grill at home?
That's a great question. I do, actually. I do. I would say more often I cook inside though. But I do love grilling. I do love grilling. And I have different types of grills. I would say like I grill mostly on charcoal. Like I have a very simple PK grill. It's called a PK grill. It's a pretty old style of grills, but it's very, very simple and it's great. It's an amazing grill. So this is what I use most frequently, but I also have a gas grill and I have a pellet smoker in my backyard.
Did you say pellet smoker?
Pellet smoker, yes.
What is that?
Yeah, pellet smoker is kind of, I have no shame about that because pellet smoker is like a smoker you plug in, actually. So it's a plugged-in electric smoker that you feed pellets, wood pellets, which kind of look like dog food. And you basically plug it in and you set the temperature and you can control it from your phone or Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, and you can just turn it on and off when you're at work, and it's amazing, But people shame others about using pellet grills because it's not a live fire. But I don't have any shame about that anymore. There's so many people that want to get into barbecue and smoking meats, but you don't have so much time. Like most people don't have 16 hours out of their weekend to spend cooking a brisket and babysitting a fire.
Yeah.
So it's a great way for amateurs and beginners to get into the craft of barbecue without having this huge time commitment and without having, the inconsistency of a live fire. Like if you spend all this effort and all this time in a brisket and your first brisket, you mess it up, which is going to happen. And then it can be so discouraging. Like everybody's going to be like,
That's it.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. I'm just going to go to KG Barbecue. Yeah.
Which is what you should do anyway.
Yeah.
So we're talking about grilling today, and we're trying to help people that are, it's getting to be Labor Day. People who want to grill. It's hot. We're under burn ban.
Yeah.
Grilling, barbecue in Texas is big, but also like you have to be super careful.
Yeah.
So what do you think is the most important thing people should know about barbecuing at home?
I would say barbecue is simpler than you think. A lot of people feel intimidated by cooking a steak on a grill, but really a good home-cooked steak is actually a really easy thing to execute. If you have a good quality cut, really all you need is salt.
Okay.
If I get a prime, like an HEB, go get a prime steak, an Angus prime steak, I'll just do salt, pepper. And then you just grill it. You just like go on a live fire on a charcoal or a gas grill. It works just fine. And you just put the steak and you keep flipping it until it's done. It is way easier than you think. The other thing is that it's communal, it's a really fun thing. It's something that brings people together. Invite your friends and, have a 6-pack of beer and like cook some meat on a grill. Like this is something that no one can say no to.
What's the easy grill on Labor Day? What's the easy one? Or the best one, I guess I should say.
Yeah. There's so many. I mean, you can have, like I said, you can have a steak night. You can have a Middle Eastern night with like kebabs, chicken kebabs. You can get some boneless chicken thighs and cut them up in cubes and marinate them in some, chili flakes, salt, pepper, fresh garlic. You can put a little bit of sumac, a little bit of honey, olive oil, and then you can just let them marinate and skewer them with some vegetables and grill them. I love doing the same with beef or lamb. If you get lamb leg cubes, or if you get beef, I actually love ribeye kebabs. So I love using salt, pepper, coriander, and pomegranate molasses and fresh garlic in the beef kebab. You can go Mexican. You can grill some onions and peppers, and there's these perforated pans. You can buy a skillet that has holes in it, and then you can grill your vegetables in the pan on the grill.
Oh.
So you get that smoky, charred flavor. This is a good trick as well.
Yeah.
But then the last thing is roasting. If you don't want to spend too much time on the grill, you can roast a big roast in your oven. And my two cuts there, something I've been cooking a lot lately in the food truck is beef tri-tip. Tri-tip is a cut that is very popular in California. They grill it in California. We smoke it here in Texas. But I love this. We've been selling a lot of this in the truck. The tri-tip you can find in HEB. And I use the Hardcore Carnivore Black seasoning, which is a seasoning line started by Jess Pryles. She's Australian and she loves barbecue, and she has her own line of seasonings. She's based in Austin. So the Hardcore Carnivore Black is a activated charcoal seasoning. It looks black, right?
Yeah.
And it's very garlicky. It has a great flavor. Put the seasoning on, roast it in the oven. You have an internal probe in there until it reaches 130. That's medium rare. Take it out, throw it on a really hot grill, get a nice, beautiful char, and then you can slice it up. Super easy, super simple. You can do the same thing with a lamb rack. I'm a big advocate for lamb, and I've dubbed myself as the lamb ambassador of Texas.
You better trademark that immediately.
Costco has great lamb racks. They're already trimmed and Frenched and beautiful. You can, again, use your favorite spice rub, roast it in the oven until it hits that 130 internal, throw it on the grill, and you have a beautiful, grilled protein.
So wait, now you've mentioned HEB, you've mentioned Costco. Where's your favorite place to buy meat for personal use in Austin?
Really, it's HEB. I feel like I should be sponsored by HEB at this point. I talk about HEB all the time. Mueller is one of the best ones. So they have a great butcher shop. They have all kinds of proteins that you can think of. But really, the only thing that I'll go to Costco for is the lamb racks.
There seems to be so many decisions that you need to make before you start grilling. What are your favorite methods? So it's like charcoal versus gas, rub versus marinade. There's just so much.
Really, for every protein and every smoker, there's a better way of seasoning or marinating or dry rubbing. But if you ask me about what is my favorite, what grill is my favorite protein comes out of, it's going to be a charcoal grill. Charcoal grill, that's what I'm used to in the Middle East. For me, it is lighter. It is easier to eat. It takes less time. I can eat more of it. Smoked meats are amazing, but they are hot and heavy. And, I love barbecue, right? I love barbecue. I'm obsessed with it. But if I go and eat a traditional Central Texas style barbecue meal, I don't crave it again for a month, right? It's such a heavy, rich, in my opinion, unbalanced meal. And it depends what you're cooking. You're gonna want to marinate it or dry rub it. When you're cooking on a charcoal grill, marinades are actually better. When you're dry rubbing, you're only using seasoning, right? It's only just dry seasonings. Dry rubbing is better for smoking. Brining is great for leaner proteins. If you're cooking a turkey or a pork loin or a chicken breast, you want to do a wet brine and let it sit in a salt brine solution. That's really helpful.
Can you quickly just explain what brining is?
Brining is a wet brine is a salt solution. And you can introduce flavors and aromatics and spices, garlic, orange slices, lemon slices, rosemary. And you basically boil the brine so that you can infuse all these flavors, and then you cool it down. So a great trick, if you want to use the brine quickly, cut the amount of water in half, and then make the brine in half the amount of water, and then do ice water at the end of the recipe. You can just chill and cool the whole thing down. So basically, brining is a salt solution that you can introduce flavors and aromatics through, and then you let your protein sit in this solution for maybe 4 to 8 hours, maybe sometimes longer if it's a bigger protein. What happens is that the salt in the brine will start pulling the water and the moisture out of the protein, and then by the pressure will start sucking back all the moisture and that salt water solution into the protein again. So it's a process called osmosis, and basically the water comes out of the protein, and then the salt flavored water goes back into the protein.
Crazy.
And then you take it out and you dry it and you pat it dry. And then once you cook it, you have a much, much, much juicier protein. The technical definition of the term steak is any cut that you can portion and cook to your desired temperature.
Wow.
That does not apply to brisket, because you cannot cook a brisket to well done or even past well done. Well done is 165.
Wow. Okay.
So brisket has to go all the way up to 200 and has to stay there for a little bit so that all these connective tissues and all these fibers break down and it becomes tender and edible. But there is a really cool trick that I was talking about on the show, is that you feel your hand. If you feel your hand right here.
So we are pushing on the pad of our thumbs, that inside your hand, the pad of your thumb.
Exactly. You see how squishy and soft this feels? This is rare. This feels like rare.
Oh.
And then if you can connect your thumb and your index.
And then you close it like you're making the okay sign.
And then feel that again. That's medium rare. And then connect your thumb and middle finger now. Now that's medium. You see how the different it feels?
Yeah.
And then ring finger and thumb, medium well.
Kareem.
And then pinky. That's well done. Yeah.
That is such a cool trick.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So that's like when you're grilling, remember that trick. If you like your steak medium, this is how your steak should feel like when you poke it.
Oh my God. This is wonderful. I'm showing every person I know this trick from now on. At this point, you've been living in Austin for how long?
I'm in Austin for 8 years now.
That's a good long time.
I had my first visit in 2012 to Austin, and then I was back again in 2015, at the end of 2015. So for 3 years, I was cooking, and it really wasn't that long until I realized that I had to go back to Texas.
So I read that in Cairo, while you were studying grilling, you befriended butchers and you practiced techniques with them while sourcing the meat.
Like many other things in my life, I started obsessing about it. And I went back home, and this is all I could think about. Like, I grew up in a household that we love food. Everything is made from scratch. My grandma was a phenomenal cook. We have a farm in Egypt, and we go there every weekend. We spend all day cooking a meal, and we sit on the dinner table and we eat for like hours. And we're done eating and we're still lingering on the table, sharing stories and laughs. And this is something that I really miss from back home.
Kareem, hold on now. Don't make me invite you to our Black household where we sit around the table talking loud. And you're describing my childhood and my family. I love this.
Wait, is that an invitation or what?
Absolutely.
Okay, awesome. I wanted to recreate this experience for my family and for my loved ones. I had this incredible barbecue thing. So I went out, and the only piece of equipment out there that I could find to barbecue on was your classic backyard kettle grill. And I went out to all the butchers you can think of asking for a brisket, and none of them had it. I finally found a fancier butcher shop that had like Australian meats and imported meats. And I was lucky because the day I went was the grand opening of this branch, and the head butcher was there. So I went up. I remember I walked up to the counter, asked for a brisket. The meat guy, the representative, had no idea what I was talking about. So he was like, let me call the head butcher. He's here, actually. So he came and he was like, I do actually have a brisket, but before I give it to you, you have to tell me what are you going to do with it. Like, he was really curious, what the hell am I going to do with this cut? Because nobody asks for it ever. So I told him, well, I learned about this thing in Texas, and I showed him pictures and videos, and I showed him all about this craft. And I told him I'm gonna try to smoke it on this Weber kettle grill. And he was like, here's my number. Please let me know how it goes.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah. And we have a big holiday in Egypt. It's called the Holiday of Sacrifice. And it's all about giving to friends, family, and the poor. So if you have the money or if you can afford it, you buy a sheep or a lamb or a cow and you give away a third of it to your friends, third to your family, and third to the poor. So it's a holiday where everybody eats meat. So I invited him in our farm and I told him we bought a whole cow for the family and we're gonna butcher all of it and I want you to come and teach me how to butcher. So I did that with him like twice in those 4 or 5 years after my visit in Texas. So yeah, we're still great friends now. But I really cooked everything you can think of. Like I cooked whole chickens, I cooked fish, shrimp. I cooked any other beef roast like prime ribs and veal and lamb racks. And I was like, I want to cook every weekend. And things got expensive. It broke my bank. And then I started I made a group chat and I put all of my friends on it. And I told them I'm starting a weekend barbecue supper club. Come over on the weekend, bring your friends, bring drinks, donate money. I'll cook barbecue. I didn't make money, but I just kept on going. I had the financial support to keep cooking barbecue every week and I did that for like 3 or 4 years,
When you came back in 2015, did you stay?
I came back to search for a mentor in 2015. I used to work in corporate finance and banking.
Oh my God.
I had a 5-year career, very stable. I was a senior financial analyst. I had a very stable income and health benefits, and I had the future to look forward to. But then every time I look at the officers and the seniors and the executives in the bank, I was like, no, I don't want to do that. Like,
not for me. No,
not for me. Yeah.
The grill is calling me.
Exactly. Yeah. So I decided to play it really safe because my family's words got into my head that this is a very risky move. I took all of my paid time off in October because it's my birthday month. And I decided to go to Texas and search for a mentor. I was here for 30 days and the clock was ticking and I had to find the mentor. Everybody said no, everybody. I went to Franklin, Terry Blacks, John Mueller back. He was still like going. Everybody you can think of, La Barbecue, Valentina's, all these people, and everybody said no.
Wow.
I was upfront and honest about what I'm doing.
Right.
I'm from Egypt. I want to take barbecue back to Egypt. I'm looking for someone to teach me. Like, will you teach me your ways? And I'm going to take it back to Egypt. That was my plan.
Did anybody say yes?
So all the way at the end, I was desperate. So I offered my free labor. And I said, I'll work for free. I said, this information is utterly, this is invaluable. Like I will do anything. And I walked up to Curlin Barbecue. It's a place that doesn't exist anymore. So I walked up there and I told them, this is who I am. This is what I'm doing. Teach me. I'll work for free. I'll work full time for 3 to 6 months for free. You don't have to pay me. Just teach me how to smoke meats. And it was very simple. He was like, yeah, why not? Yeah. It's hard to turn down free labor,
Kareem, that is a crazy origin story. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, I want to learn this by any means necessary.
Yeah, exactly.
And now you are an expert. So leftovers, let's just say you have leftovers. What's your favorite thing to do? I personally want to know what your favorite thing to do is with like any kind of brisket leftovers, because I bet you have so many ideas.
Yeah. I do have so many ideas. Well, with leftover proteins in general, I like making breakfast tacos or a breakfast hash. Or you can make quesadillas. You can put them on a pizza. You can make, like, for example, you take brisket. You have leftover brisket. You can chop it up when it's cold. and you can fry up some breakfast potatoes, red skin potatoes, salt, pepper, and a little bit of oil. And then once your potatoes are done, throw in the brisket. The fat is going to start to melt and render. It's going to start to flavor all the potatoes. And then on the side, you can make some beautiful fluffy scrambled eggs, some fresh guacamole, salsa, fresh tortillas, and you have a beautiful make your own breakfast brisket tacos.
Oh my God, you're killing me. It's so good.
Are you hungry?
I'm so hungry. Oh my God. This is killing me.
I always say, my superpower is I can think about dinner as I'm eating lunch. I'm really good at planning for the next meal.
I'm terrible at that. Oh my gosh.
And then what I love to do in the food truck, and I used to do that a lot for private dinners with leftover brisket, is put it in pasta. We have a beautiful Egyptian dish called macarona bechamel, and it's also called pastitsio in Greece. It's an Egyptian Greek dish. It's a baked pasta dish that you make with penne pasta. So you boil the penne pasta, you make a bechamel sauce, which is flour and milk, basically. It's a base for a cheese sauce. So it's like a white gravy, right? And then you make a garlic tomato sauce, like a bolognese sauce, and then you put these two sauces together. So you have a pink sauce. You put in your pasta, you put in your chopped brisket, and then put it in a Pyrex tray, and then you can pour more bechamel sauce, and then cover the thing with cheese, and then bake it.
Oh my God.
And then you have a brisket pasta. Yeah.
Oh my God. So is there anything else that you want people to know about grilling for Labor Day? What are you grilling on Labor Day? What do you want people to know?
I most likely might be grilling on Labor Day, or I might ask someone to grill for me on Labor Day. I recently discovered that this is my love language. I love when people cook for me. I didn't know that about me, but I love that so much. Yeah, I think my tip is the same thing, is, just go out there and do it, don't be intimidated from it. There's so many videos and tutorials and so many beautiful different cuts and cuisines and dishes that you can make on the grill.
So final question. So those of you that don't know, Kareem has what is likely the most glorious mustache I've ever seen in my entire life. It is, I can't even describe it. It's so lush. It's just so full and incredible. I'd be remiss if I did not ask you, what is your mustache routine?
It's beef tallow. I put beef tallow on. Do you know what beef tallow is?
Are you kidding me? I can't tell if you're telling the truth or not. Because now I just picture you rubbing beef grease in your face.
Exactly. It's a brisket. I put brisket grease on it. How do you think I can grow this mustache?
Oh.
No, for real. I think it's Egyptian genes.
Genetics.
I honestly have no routine. Sometimes I'll put a beard balm on it. I have no routine for it. I don't do anything to it. I trim it myself because I don't trust anyone to trim it.
Of course not. Of course you don't.
Yeah, because I'm also bald, so I think I got lucky with my mustache. I get more comments from men than I get from women.
Of course.
Egyptians are very proud of their mustaches. It's a very manly thing. And sometimes if it's a mustache that's really big and strong, they would say, this is a mustache that the falcon can land on.
Kareem, this has been delightful.
Absolutely. Thank you, Nikki.
This has been awesome.
Thank you. It's my pleasure. I really had a lot of fun.
That's all for today here on CityCast Austin. You can find links to KG Barbecue's social media in our show notes. If you enjoyed the show, why not tell a friend who you want to take to KG Barbecue? Rate the show, leave us a review, and subscribe to our Hey Austin newsletter. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. Bye, y'all.